What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming back at you for another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Hope you guys are doing well. I just want to come on and give some thoughts about what I've been seeing here in the last couple of weeks. I'm down in Mexico, left the business this past season, and was asked by one of my college teammates, had a great conversation with Glenn Blackwell last night. And he was asking me, he said, do you miss the game? Do you miss calling the games? And I said, no, I don't. And he said, not even a little bit? I said, not really, Glenn, because in calling the games, people see us sitting down with the headphones on talking about the game, but they don't see all that goes into it. It's a grind, guys. There's a reason why everybody doesn't call 50 to 60 college basketball games a season, because it's a grind. And after 25 years in the business, I had kind of gotten worn down a little bit. So for me to be able to have this platform to come on and talk to you guys about some of my thoughts is just my speed, because I don't want it to get in the way of enjoying Mexico and all that the ocean and everything has to offer. So I'm in chill mode, but I want to come on and talk about the Illini a little bit. These guys, man, I was watching, and I know they've won, I believe it is 9 in a row, and I've been watching, not intensely, but I've been paying attention. And one of the things I was looking at this morning in their preparation of taking on the Washington Huskies tonight, is just some of the statistics, man. And Brad's teams have been statistically dominant, I'd say, since Ayo and Kofi. Since that time, Brad's Illini teams have really found a way to be dominant on the glass, dominant in a lot of areas. So when you look at what they're doing right now, shooting 36% as a team from three, I think they've struggled, been very inconsistent the last couple of years from long range, but they seem to be figuring it out this year. 36 from three, and they shoot over half their shots from three-point land. They made 10 or more threes in 11 of their last 12 games. That seems to be not a trend, but a norm. So obviously, I don't expect them to shoot this well the rest of the year. But when you've got 36% from three, that shows that this team is capable of being consistent from three. They were a little spotty, very inconsistent, I thought, from three the last couple of seasons prior to this one. But this year they seem to figure that out. Plus their personnel lends to that. Fourth in offensive rebounding efficiency in the country. That's nothing new. Brad's teams are elite rebounding. Fourth in free throw percentage, though. So if the Illini aren't hitting threes, they're getting the offensive rebound. If they're not getting the putback from the offensive rebound, they're getting fouled. They're fourth in the country in free throw percentage. That's excellent. And then they don't foul. They're first in the country in opposing free throw rate. So you see why the Illini are successful. Just looking at the statistics. Then you start to throw in the fact that they've got the tallest team in the country. Pretty much everybody they put on the floor can space the floor. They can hit you from three. They've got a lottery pick now in Keaton Wagler. I remember the first time I came on, this was before his Purdue game. I said, yeah, he would be lotterying any other year with these outstanding freshmen in this class. That 46-point performance at Purdue, he's a lottery pick. So you've got a lottery pick. I thought Bam, I think his injury and him being out on these conference games is going to hurt his ability to be Defensive Player of the Year. But I think Bam was in the run. Kylan Boswell, I thought he was in the running for defensive Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year before his injury. So this Illini team, with their statistical dominance, with them being the tallest team in the country, with them having an All-American candidate in Keaton Wagler, Big Z, Ivasic. I love Big Z. I love Tomislav. I love Mirkovic. It's a really good team, right? And we'll see what happens down the stretch. I looked at their schedule and I saw really 3 challenging games. Obviously, at Nebraska, I believe that's Sunday. I think that's Sunday. At Nebraska will be a great challenge. Tip your hat to the Huskers and Fred Hoiberg. Their offensive actions against Michigan the other day without their top 2 scorers they were fantastic. They lost at Michigan, but it went right down to the wire. They were getting Sam Hoiberg, 6-foot Sam Hoiberg, wide open looks at the rim. I tip my hat to the Huskers. That's a really, really good team. And when Frager and Rick Mast get back healthy, that's a legitimate team. So that's a great test for the Illini after Washington. So let me not look over. Wait a minute. Let me not look over these Huskies. I didn't change that. That's going to go off for a second. So the Huskies, man, I've not seen a team this decimated by injuries in a long, long time. Their top 8 players have all been injured. All of them have missed time due to various injuries. And so what I thought this Huskies team was going to be much improved this season. When you look at their talent of Zoom Diallo, Desmond Claude, who looks like he's probably out for the year. Wesley Yates. I loved him in his freshman campaign at USC, but he's been injured. Hans Steinbach, who I believe is a first-round draft pick, he's been injured. Frank Kepnang, the other big, has been injured. They have a transfer guard who's pretty talented. I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to try, but you'll see him in today's game. Talented guard, but I just don't think Bryson Tucker, who I thought was going to have a breakout season, transferring from Indiana to Washington this season. He's doing well on the glass. He's averaging 18 to 20 minutes per game, and he's almost at 5 rebounds a game. So he's doing well on the glass, but shooting the basketball has been a struggle for him. But he's missed time with injury as well. So this Washington team I thought was going to be a lot better, but they haven't found their way. And I don't think they're going to find their way tonight against the Illini. Illinois, there's just so many ways for them to attack you, for them to exploit matchups, which they do very, very well. And, they're dominant on the glass. Now, Frank Kepnang and Hans Steinbach, they're quality opponents, but I don't think they have the depth. And I just don't think they have the depth or the size to consistently bang with the interior players of the Illini. Plus, Illinois' offensive actions pull those bigs away from the bucket a lot. And so you're forcing those bigs to play perimeter defense, which a lot of guys, when you tell bigs to put their foot on the 3-point line and defend, that's very foreign territory for bigs out that far away from the paint area. So I think the Illini will have a big-time advantage in that. I don't look at the betting lines or anything, but I'd be surprised if the Illini don't win this game by double figures. All right, moving on. You guys probably didn't watch the Iowa versus USC game last night. That was a wild game. USC jumped out early. Iowa found their way behind Sturts. He kind of calmed down. The other guard. Let me pull this up. The other guard had a really good game as well. But that was the first time I'd watched Iowa play a full game, and I was impressed. Now, are they going to beat any of the upper echelon teams in the Big Ten consistently? I just don't think they have enough firepower. I wish they wouldn't do that, man. Here we go. Appreciate you guys holding for a second. So, by the way, Cam Woods for USC was outstanding. 12 of 17 from the field. He ended up with 33 points. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. I'm not going to get into that game much. Great win by Iowa. USC had a chance to win at the buzzer. I think it was Cam Woods had a look but missed, and Iowa held on. Okay, this is going to be, you guys don't ever hear me really go after people and go after players and coaches, but I got to say something about Chad Baker Mazara. This is a young man that's extremely talented. He's been around college basketball. I believe this might be his 6th season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 5th or 6th season. Very talented player, right? But he's dirty. He's a dirty player. I saw it at his time there at Auburn, and last night there's a move where guys catch the ball and they're trying to clear space from the defender when they feel like they're too close. So you catch the ball and you step between the defender's legs, and it forces them back a little bit. Well, Chad Baker Mazara caught, and Bennett Sturtz was guarding him, caught the ball and put his leg between Bennett's legs, but he raised his knee and hit him right in his future, right in his sack, right? And it was an obviously dirty play. And I've seen him do that throughout his career. And he's the first one to go and check and do all this, but it's intentional because in college basketball today, there's so many cameras around that you can't get away with stuff. So they had an overhead shot, which was the best shot. And I love Jordan Taylor. That's my guy. Jordan Taylor said it the best. He described the move and he said, well, Chad looked like he got a little overzealous with the step, meaning, yeah, it was an overzealous move in that he put his knee in Sturtz's groin. And I thought it was intentional. And I've seen this guy over the years. And he averages almost 19 a game for USC. The guy can play. He can play. But I just don't like that dirty type stuff. And I don't care who tells me and talks to me. I know what my eyes are showing me. I know what I've seen over the years, and I don't like that. So I definitely want to point that out. Talented player, but please take away the dirty stuff, man, because it's not necessary. You don't need to do it. You're too talented of a player to resort to those type of tactics. Yes, Sturtz was in your ass on that defensive possession. Yes, you wanted to clear space. You don't have to knee the dude in his sack. That's not necessary. All right. Last point I want to talk about, man, this tomorrow night. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow night. If you got a significant other or whatever, and he or she asks you to go somewhere, tell them to cancel. Because Michigan and Michigan State's going to be a hell of a game, guys. Spartans have won the last 4 in this series. I like Michigan in this one. A lot of people like the Spartans in this game. I like Michigan. I like the Wolverines in this game. Trey McKinney is coming on, guys. He was a McDonald's All-American. He wasn't getting a lot of time, but he's starting to get more playing time. And he is their best perimeter threat. So when he's on the floor, and it allows Michigan to space the floor a lot better, he's really coming on. Elliot Cadeau is a guy that when he was at North Carolina, I didn't understand all the hype behind him, but he's starting to really play better. Now I start to see it. He's one of the fastest guards in college basketball. He doesn't mind advancing the ball, which I like. Point guards that will give it up to a teammate that's up the floor. I think Michigan advances the basketball as well as any team in the country. I think they and Michigan State are similar in that regard. Namari Burnett is going to be a key player for this Michigan Wolverines team. He's older. He's tough. He loves to defend. He's got some saltiness, nastiness to him. He can't hit the three. He can't finish at the rim, and he loves to defend. So I think the game against Nebraska, I don't know what his stats were, but his toughness helped him win that game. And I think moving forward, Namari Burnett will be a key piece to the success that this Michigan Wolverines team has. These are the 2 top defensive teams in the country. Michigan State Spartans and Michigan State Wolverines, Michigan State Spartans and Michigan Wolverines. I believe, according to Ken Palm, these are the top 2 defensive teams in the nation. But there will be some offensive firepower. Don't think that it's going to be a 50s, 60s game. I don't think. I think it's going to be in the 80s. These teams are very good defensively, but they're both very good on the offensive end. And I think that you'll see a very entertaining game. I think you'll see a very close game. But I like Michigan to get this one because, again, Cadeau, Burnett, Roddy Gill Jr., and LJ Kaysen, along with Trey McKinney, the dynamic nature of that backcourt and their interchangeable parts and the way that they can pressure the basketball. If Jeremy Fears is really pressured heavily and, they get after him, they change guys, they're physical with him. Jeremy Fears is right now playing the best of any player on Michigan State's team. If you limit what Fears is doing, I'm not sure the rest of the lineup for the Spartans can win an elite game and against an elite opponent if Jeremy Fears isn't elite himself. Because lately he's been really scoring the basketball. I think he had, did he have 28 or 29 against Rutgers, and they needed every one of his points because they had to win in overtime on the road. So I have yet to see Michigan State beat a quality opponent when Jeremy Fears is having a subpar game. And I think the Michigan backcourt has the ability to make it very difficult on Jeremy in this particular game. So those are my thoughts, my quick thoughts. And I'm not going to be on here very long. I just wanted to come and get back into the rhythm of this. I've got to figure out a day or something when I'm going live. But I just want to come on here and share some of my thoughts. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Let's see here. Hey, Carol, good to see you. How you doing? Carol Pole Paquette, one of the original tribe members. She's been rocking with me since day one. Miss seeing you too, Carol. Great to see you. Yes, the Illini are rebounding well off everything, doing a great job. A.M. Brotts, good to see you, man. Worried about the radical exuberance the guys are showing. Well, M. Brotts, I happen to disagree, and here's why. The rules in college basketball take the excitement away from the players. Okay, why do I say that? If you'll notice a referee doing this, that's a motion for the referees to tell the guys on the bench to sit down, which is the most asinine ass rule in college basketball. The only reason players are upstanding when they get off the bench is to cheer on their teammates. I have to laugh to keep from crying sometimes to see the state of the game that I love and hold dearly. Some of the stuff is just, it's utter ridiculous. So my point is that a lot of times when I watch college basketball, I don't think the players are emotional enough. I don't think they're happy enough. I don't think they're demonstrative enough. And so the fact that you're worried about their radical exuberance, Embrats, is a good thing to me. It shows that this team has a special bond. They're really pulling for one another. You can see that. And I think they understand that they have a special opportunity with this particular team. They have a special opportunity. And so I like the radical exuberance. And I hope that you start to like it too, Ambrose, because I think it's a good thing. I don't think these guys can show too much emotion. You know, they're invested. These are full-time jobs for these players. They devote their lives to this game. I like to see them when they're excited, when they're happy for their teammates, when they're, you know, guys, let me share something with you. And Embrats and Carol have heard me say this many, many times. There's very few feelings next to watching the birth of a child, you know, being a parent, becoming a parent, and having pleasure with someone else that you love or whatever. When you're a team and your team goes on the run, the collective energy that a team experiences when your team is on a run, there is nothing like it. There's really nothing like it. I think that's one of the things that makes sports so addictive. That when you're part of a fan base, you're part of a program, and you're pulling for the Fighting Illini, and Keaton Wagler is on a heater, and then Jake Davis hits a big three. Big Tommy hits 2 threes, and then Mirkovic hits a 3, and they win at Mackey Arena. That's as good of a feeling as you're going to get in life. So I'm okay with those guys being exuberant. I think it's a great thing because I'm happy for them now that I don't have to go down the line anymore. And it's funny, I say that I've been I pull for the Illini all the time. It's just that I have to be down the middle. And this woman swore to me. She said, Stephen, we still love you, but you were never down the line. And I was like, that's because you're a fanatical. You're a fan. You expect me to pull for Illinois, and when I don't on the air, you think something's wrong. There was nothing wrong. I was just doing my job. But I've always been pulling for the Illini. So, yeah, I know, Carol. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get better. And I'm really gonna focus on the Illini. I'll touch on certain parts of the Big Ten, but my focus is really on Illinois. That's my program. I want to see them do well. So I'll do better with that. Let's see. Yes, struggle early with sub. Yes, yeah, I'm going with Michigan in this one. Carol, they were beating the snot out of teams, man. I mean, statistically, they've been incredible, and now they've come back to earth a little bit. Now the Big Ten slate has hit, as it should, and so it's a great team. It's a great team, and they can beat you a lot of different ways, and that's why I give them the slight edge in this matchup against Michigan State, because I think they have more ways to beat you. And look, I think their best player, Yaxel Lindeborg, he really wasn't a factor in their Nebraska win. He didn't have a very good game. He has not been shooting the ball very well. And yet the Wolverines are still able to find ways to win. Morez Johnson has been fantastic for them all season. I expect him to do much of the same against Michigan State. Mara is impossible to score on at the rim. And it's going to be fascinating to watch Cooper and Kohler and Cohen Carr attack the rim, because Michigan State they're going to test the interior defense of the Wolverines. That's going to be fascinating. But Michigan's a great team. And I think Michigan State's a great team as well. These two teams, along with Nebraska and Illinois, I don't know about Purdue. And it's not because they lost at Indiana and they lost at home against Illinois. That's not why I say that. Defensively, Purdue scares me a little bit. Illinois was able to find the matchup that they wanted. I think Oscar Clough. Whenever Keaton got Oscar Clough or Trey Kaufman-Renn, he torched them. And defensively, Purdue scares me a little bit in terms of their ability to defend high-level situations, because the way that Matt Painter and his staff like to defend, unless they change up what they're doing and they're going to stay what they've been doing, teams are going to try to pick and roll them, ball screen them to death to get the matchup that they want and then attack that mismatch. So, if anybody can right the ship, it will be Matt Painter and his staff. One of the best staffs in college basketball. I think they'll get better. I don't know that it will make a difference against an elite team in the tournament. So Purdue scares me a little bit from that regard, but Illinois, Nebraska, Michigan, and Michigan State, I think across the board on both sides of the ball, I think they have what it takes to be deep contenders in the NCAA tournament. All hired guns. Can you go into more depth of what you're talking about? XR 22297. What do you mean by they're all hired guns? I think that's college basketball today, right? it's about the NIL package a player can get. It's the transfer portal. So what do you mean by that? Oh, okay. Stories about them like a rock band tearing up motel rooms used to be. Oh well, you know the Illini. If I'm reading this right in Brats, Illinois can afford it. They can afford paying for some torn up motel rooms. Heck, the players can afford it. They're getting broke off. They can afford it. So I'm all good as long as it helps them continue to win. I'm all for it. Carol, there is some concern. However, Fletcher does a really good job with these guys, and Keaton he's a lot stronger than he looks. But I think it's a natural progression for freshmen, and it's their first time, and they look dominant, and they are dominant. They might hit a wall, but this kid is different, Carol. And what I mean by that, I was watching his post-game interview after he dropped 46. You couldn't tell if he scored 18 points, 5 points, or 46 points. You couldn't tell. He's just monotone. He doesn't seem to get too high. It doesn't get too low. He's really poised and seems mature beyond his years. So I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, he'll wear down like all players do in the Big Ten, but this kid is special, so I'm not too worried about him. Let's see. Oh, well, I mean, that's a good point. You know what? I respect that. I see what you're saying on that. It's a good point, but I think what's lost is that guys think it's a right to play college basketball just because they're getting paid. It's still a privilege. It's a privilege to put on a fighting Illini jersey. And unfortunately, and to your point, these guys don't know any of that. They don't care. I don't think they really care. And it's unfortunate because I think if guys really knew the history of these programs that they're representing when they put that jersey on, it means something to every player that's been in that program. And it means something to all the students that went to Illinois and called themselves grads. It means something to all the fans and the fan base that have been supporting the program for decades. It means something to all of us. And so you make a very good point. You make a good point. So I can rock with you on that. But let me clear that off. But yeah, so I just wanted to come on here, folks, and share some of my thoughts. And I'll admit, it was hard for me to see the type of success that Illinois is having right now early in the season because a totally overhauled roster. I didn't know a lot about these guys. I knew about Big Z, but Mirkovic, I didn't know anything about him. I knew about Stojakovic. I saw him at Cal and Stanford. I knew about him. Didn't know about Mihailo Petrovic. I saw clips of him. I thought he was going to be outstanding. He's had a rough time in a transition. Didn't know anything about Wagler outside of what my main man, Gene Cross, former Illini, told me in scouting in Illinois. Told me he's special. He told me this before they even started playing games. He went to a preseason practice. He said, Bardo, Keaton Wagler is special. He's a pro. And I was like, okay. So I knew about him based on what Gene was saying. It's good to see them have this success. And Brad seems to be enjoying himself as much as he has in any season that I've seen him coach the Illini. So I'm happy for them. I'm glad they're having the success they're having. I want to see them continue this success. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. February and March this season, like it has been for Illinois. I mean, I keep saying this, and I don't think people are understanding what I'm saying. This is the best stretch of the Illinois basketball program that it's ever had. In terms of like we in the media, I know we would bring up a lot of times about Wisconsin under Bo Ryan, and then Greg Gard continued the trend where they didn't have any finishes. They finished inside the top 4 of the Big Ten for maybe 15 or 16 years running. I haven't looked back on it, and I will before the next time I come on, but the finishes of the Big Ten that the Illini have had have been very similar to Wisconsin in the last 5-6 seasons. And I'm almost certain that Illinois has not finished like that consistently over this amount of time in program history. And so enjoy these games, every one of them, even though this Illinois versus Washington game looks like a lopsided victory for the Illini. Doesn't matter. Watch these games, guys. Enjoy these games. Take them in. Brats. Be overly exuberant. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the games, because you're looking at, this is the era for Illinois basketball. So take it in, enjoy it, and rock with the team. Scream at the TV. Get mad at your favorite player or get happy with your favorite player. But enjoy it, guys, because it goes fast. It goes fast for the players. It goes fast for the season, right? We're already into February. We're just, we're right at the start of February. And so enjoy the run. Enjoy the ride. All right. Carol, thank you, love. I appreciate you tuning in. Brats, as always, bro, thank you so much for your support. You guys enjoy the game. Enjoy the games this weekend, especially the Michigan State game on tomorrow night. You guys, I'm sending warmth and love. I'm not going to tell you the temperature. I'm not going to tell you the temperature here in Playa del Carmen, but I'm trying to send. I'll get a fan outside and try to send some of this warmth up your way. XR 22297. I will, brother. I will. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. And until next time, holla, y'all.